My name is Alvian, and I love film.
You made it!
Yeah!
You talking to me?
Even saying that I simply love films seems like an understatement.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
In fact, I love film so much that I decided to major in it. Looking to go out into the ruthless job market with nothing but a BA and a dream.
You're crazy. I'm not. No, I'm not.
See, I always thought my passion for film was quite clear-cut, but the other day someone asked me, why? And quite surprisingly, it was a hard question.
No point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
In the end, I was able to answer the question of why in 2 sections. What film means to me, and what I think it means to everyone else. Okay, now I'm fully aware that this video is going to answer some questions that nobody asked and make some claims that you probably don't care about. But I'm just saying, I didn't click play. You did. So, whose fault is it that you're wasting your time with this? Really? I've got way too much free time. Let's first talk about why society as a whole watches films. Put simply, we are what keeps the movie industry going.
Please, sir. I want some more.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Obviously, people keep anything going because something, social construct. But if we simply like things based on face value entertainment alone, then by that same logic, things such as clay pigeon shooting and those videos you see of machine presses destroying bowling balls would have a much larger audience.
Goresh had this chance to win the title.
We are creatures that crave complexity, and at this point in time, film and television seem to be the most dominant forms of mainstream media that can satisfy our hunger for it. Now, short side note, notice how I said the most dominant form of media and not the only form of media. It's worth noting that the video game market is also reaching new terrain with the rise of virtual reality and other innovations in technology, making our engagement in these complex facets of entertainment more comprehensive. And more on topic, the video game industry has frequently made more money than the film industry, depending on what year you're looking at.
Thank you, God.
This being said, it's still in my opinion that the medium of film is better at relating to audiences and reaching those specific demographics of the population. Because you don't need anything to enjoy a good film. Hell, if you analyze films for the cinematography alone, then look at directors such as Akira Kurosawa, then you realize you don't even need language to enjoy a good film. Back on track. This apparent hunger for entertainment through film can be reflected through numbers. For example, the North American box office last year made $11.07 billion in revenue. I mean, with that kind of money, you can buy 851,538,461 copies of Space Jam on VHS. Talk about saving goals.
Shut up and take my money!
So, why do you watch films? I think once we brush past all the superfluous aspects such as dates and boredom, that there's an underlying reason. I think that there's something more. We go to the movies so that we can empathize with the characters. And if the film is good enough, potentially evaluate our own lives through them. We're able to evaluate our own experiences through what's being portrayed on the screen.
He's looking at you, kid.
The cinema screen acts like a mirror because we see reflections of ourselves in the triumphs and the drama through relationships and environments. And I think that's awesome. Films put things like victory, joy, pain, and rejection, envy, pride, anger, happiness in a display case. This is what we come to see. Human nature in raw form, with whatever narrative you have acting simply as packaging. Also like cool CGI, but that's like a side benefit. Hold up. I still haven't told you why film means so much to me. When I was about 12 or 13, it seemed like everyone was coming to a realization. Like all the kids around me were finding their purpose or their niche or whatever you want to call it. Of course they weren't, because we were 12 or 13. But regardless, it was around this time that everyone started to shift into that thing that they were good at. Things like photography, dancing, singing, writing, public speaking, or sport. I found myself in a bit of a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none situation. But I knew that I liked films, and I knew that I had a camera that worked, so I started making movies with friends. Ollie, get over here. I took inspiration from those people who could make anything from an iPhone and an idea. Eventually, I got to a point where I was so comfortable with filming and editing using the software that it became less of a chore and more of something that I looked forward to. Was it amateur stuff? Or I could have very well misread some of the statements that went into this video. Yeah. Is it still amateur stuff?
Yeah, boy!
For sure.
Oh, God, what have we done?
But here's the reason why I go through all of what must seem like nonsense to anybody else. Quite often, it's easy to feel like you're not good enough, strong enough, smart enough. It's hard to feel as though you are enough. For me, all of that's outside of the frame. But when I'm in the frame, I feel invincible. I feel like there's nothing I can't do. You want to clone yourself? Go ahead. You want to break the rules? Then by all means. You want to do something that's impossible? Well, that's easy. The fact that I can make something from my own living room that transcends oceans, borders, and language, that could potentially impact someone halfway around the world, is on another level entirely. Just remember that everything I've said up until now is opinion. I mean, it's not necessarily true. God, that would be terrible if everything I said was true. Can you imagine?
You're doing it wrong.
I guess what I'm trying to do in the most long-winded way possible is encourage you to find what makes you feel invincible. What makes you feel like you're enough. And if you've already found it, then good on you. And if you're still looking, then keep looking. And yes, I know that this video is cheesier than one of those after-school specials from the 90s where they talk about the environment or something. But to finish off, my name is Elliot, and that is why I love films.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.